Right, so people that know me would see my pond, and you would normally see the fish, or you would see the fish really up against the glass, noses pressed, swimming into an imaginary force field. If you was a fish, that's what you'd think. Right, today when I've come out, the fish have all had their asses planted firmly on the pond floor. So I haven't had trouble in here for quite some time. So obviously, I'm going to have a look now, and thought, why not? I'm on a day off. The weather's quite shit. I come out a minute ago and it was actually hailing. So I'll just put it off a little bit. But they've come up because they've seen me, but literally most of them was arse on the ground. So I'm going to spin you round. So I'm going to do it nice and slow. You'll see, hopefully, sulking, nose down, sat parts, everybody sat amongst the flow, pretty much. It's hard to judge where they are when you're looking through the glass. But now I've seen a little bit of flashing. So one of them particularly, so the horrible Saragoy that I've got that's got cart pox. That was just clamped up. But again, it's a shame really, because the window's doing its job. And it's lovely. The water's probably the clearest it's ever been. There's quite a lot of pond debris on the side. You'll see down the side there, which is something that I need to have a look at. I have got returns down that left-hand side, so whether that's closed off without me realising, I don't know. But that can't be helping matters much. So I'm going to give these a scrape, or a couple of the ones that look like they're not too good, like this one here that's going, the little kajaku down there on the bottom. Well, I'm going to just choose probably 2 or 3 fish, and we'll go from there. So pond's looking well though. I've moved me back a shower, and I've got a little project to do with that in a while. But first things first, let's have a look what's going on there. It's going to be interesting to see what they're like when I put the net in. I just hope they don't all jump out. So I've got a little idea that I'm going to create. So before, when I've been netting, because my water level's quite high up against the side, you'll see it sits literally on the window. I'm going to put this little net, like a volleyball net, across there. So if they do jump, they'll jump into there and back into the pond. So let's see how good we can have wacky races, or little wacky times. So it doesn't really matter which one I go for, to be fair, because there's so many sat on the bottom. I'm quite confident. That the one that I choose, I'll be quite happy with the results. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm netting the fish that Poppy won actually at the national. She called it Chip after Chip from Rastacoy. Now down here, I have actually got a bucket set up. Got got a bucket set up for the fish. The reason why I'm doing that is, number one, I want to have a quick measure up, but number two, it's just easier to handle my fish, although be it, I've just noticed my net's gone in, so that's going to be fun getting that out, but I've got some over there that do that. So right, it's like anything, it's just about to bloody rain, which is a pain in the arse. Right, so she's stuck quite still. You can see there's, well, I can see there's a little bit of mucus just come off where she's stressing, but overall not a bad fish. So how to scrape, guys, always start from the top of the head and work your way down the back. Lots of mucus on there. Calm down, calm down. Right, I'm also going to try and get in around the gill area. I'm going to turn her over and go along the whole of her belly. So it's a little bit of bloodshot around the fins again. Right, so now I know that I've got a good mucus scrape on there. Okay, I can see it anyway if the camera can't. And all I'm going to do now is just introduce her back into the pond. They're all going mental because they can hear splashing about outside. So I like to transfer my fish without taking any worries or any risks, I should say, via a sock. Right, so I know that you can do things to look cool. Anybody can do that, but ultimately, looking cool and dropping your fish is not a cool thing to do. So first things first, let's go and have a look at that scrape and then see what I've got on there. Right, guys, so just having a look through now. See whether or not I can pick anything up now. I always start on a small scale. It's easier to see movement on a lower magnification than what it is the big. So if you can see movement on the lower, what you should then do from there is switch to a higher magnification if you can't identify what it is on the lower magnification. Things like Costia, Chiladenella, you'll see movement. You'll even see trick, but when you get low, when you increase the magnification, it just helps you identify it a lot better. So I'm quite confident with what I've picked up on here and look through on here. There's nothing on that slide at all. Right, so I'm going to do another. I'm going to have a look. I've still got more sample on me scrape. So I'm going to have a quick look on that. Right, so last little bit that's on this slide already. Air bubbles, little bit of slime, no movement around the edges. So I put a little bit of water on, and normally if there's anything, it will push anything out to the side. i.e. it will help you see what's going on. There's literally nothing, absolutely nothing on this. So I'm going to have a look at what else slime wise I've got on here for sample. If anything, I may have got it all. That one I've just done. Still a little bit of mucus there, not a lot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, let's come up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another sample off another fish. So 3 scrapes taken on that fish. So they're starting to wake up a little bit now. So they're acting how I would expect them to act. So I've got to go and retrieve the net that fell into my pond. And what we'll do, we'll grab another one out and give that a scrape. What I find quite interesting is that actually, it's madness. Actually, look at the reaction of these fish now. Look, they're at as if they want feeding. All right, but I know that they weren't too happy. So, because they weren't too happy, they're getting a scrape. And I'm not one that puts my net in my pond often. I much prefer to leave my fish be. And I don't react to one little tiny or a couple of little flickers, because sometimes just changes in parameters can cause the fish to have a little bit of an itch. So it's when I come across, like I did earlier, all the fish hitting the floor and they're clamped up, that first thing I'm going to do is get the microscope out and have a look at them. There was far too many fish acting in that manner. So right, let's get on the next one. Right, let's have a look which one's next. Now, we here at Sawrey also had a knot scale the other day when we was looking. So I'm going to attempt to get this one out, and then we can have a look at that at the same time. So as always on camera, where you gone? You're still coming. You're still coming, man. Nice and slowly. Always attack from underneath. Well, not attack, but net from underneath. Don't ever chase the fish around. Always go underneath the fish. Normally, sometimes, or the best way of doing it is to get the head and this is why it's always good to have a sock, especially when your fish are not used to being netted out. So I've kept my koi in the sock. The reason for that is because I want to get a bit of koi calm in here because she's stressing a little bit. So I'm just going to put a little bit in. And hopefully take that off. There's not enough water in there for her to really kick off and take herself out the actual bowl, which is good. I just want to have a look at this little bit. So she's coming up 52. So 52 for this little girl. Beautiful. So took a scale off. That looks fine. Underneath looks nice and clean. This side looks good. So look at this. Have a look at the gills if you'll let me. Calm yourself, girl. Calm down. Calm down. Right, so that looks like it's working anyway, which is nice. Gills look lovely and red, exactly how I'd expect them. So while she's like that, just grab me a scraper. Okay, right, let's have another look. Right there, scraping top of the head, down the back. Not much coming there, but I can see where I've taken the mucus off the fish, which is nice. I'm also going to take some from underneath, right, and Not much there. The skin is very nice condition. And again, without further delay, I'm just going to add her back into the pond. Because she's sedated, all right, I know she ain't going to flap about. So handling coil, always have the head towards your body. Right then, believe it or not, again, I found diddly squat, which is a bit mental really, but not to worry. Who's next? The Tucano was clumped up earlier, so let's get him out. Kahaku's are skittish at the best of times. Go underneath, or try and go underneath. This is where I don't really want it, because this is where it gets dangerous. When they're sitting just under the water, there's a good chance what they can do is actually accelerate themselves out the water. So I'll move fairly quick on this one. We've got his back out, so he can't go anywhere. There we go. This is why it's good to have a sock, guys. So all I'm going to simply do, trap the end off, drain that water out, and then transport the fish over to my bowl. Right, there is a bit of sedate in here, remember, which is good. I'm just going to introduce some water into the sock and just keep it on there, because again, I've left me bloody scrape inside. Right, let's have a quick look what's going on. So I just bloody drenched myself with the net handle, because it's got water holes in it where the water comes out. So let's have a look. Right, a little bit of condition on this. So this is the one that I'm hoping would, let's take that off. So this is the one I'm hoping will turn into a Sankey, but if not, it's quite a nice 3-step Kahaku. The only bit here is over this bit here, whether or not the Shiroji will come between that. I've got a bit of secondary Benny on there. Not too fussed about that. But overall, that's not looking too shabby, to be fair, with the exception of that secondary Benny. So calm yourself. Underneath is clean as a whistle. Skin quality is very good as well. You can see the structure on this fish is excellent. So let's measure her up. That's coming at 39 cm. So not bad. Right, let's get a scrape. Plenty of mucus on that, which is sometimes a good sign. And that's free. This will be the third fish I've scraped looking for the issue. So I'll put her back in. No problemo. So I don't know when it cut out, but I'm quite confident that I've gone over all of this mucus layer. Now I'm not going to be digging around just for one critter. All right, that's simply because, you know, if we're going to get an infestation, we're going to get an infestation, and you're likely to pick it up fairly easily. You know, if it's fluke, you're going to see that literally immediately. You know, and all the other stuff, you don't have, in my opinion, you don't have to look too hard. I could probably find some on here eventually, but you know, the fact that um, it's not an infestation indicates to me that it's actually nothing to worry about with regards to. Let's have a look at it from there. The answer to that is no. There's nothing there at all. So, nothing there. Okay, we're going to have to get out the water test kit, I think, and have a look from there. Well, there you go, guys. I thought we was going to administer some treatment. I should do one more. I think what I'm going to do is I'll do a water test, and then if that's coming back fine, I think I might just observe the fish a bit, and then see a little bit later on if they start laying again. If they start laying again, then just watch what's going on. As it stands, because you put a net in, you know, they're fairly active. But that look loads better now it's up Right, so where are you gone? There you are. Right, so just done purge of the bottom drains, and also uh, two flushes through the Tempest, and you'll see how much water level has gone, because my water level sits up here, you will see how much water's gone just from doing that. Now that don't include a dump out the actual nexus itself, so I'll show you that in a while. But as it stands, I'll give the bottom a bloody good stir up, because there was a couple of little sediment traps that had accumulated, and I've also turned the air up to try and get that little bit of vortex motion in, so it can get down the sides and push it back out. So next thing I've got to contemplate, I might put a bigger pump on, just so I can push it up to maximum now and then, just to really push that water through hard, just for 20 minutes or so, just to try and get a bit more movement in the water if I need to. So that's a future plan thing. So, but for now, I'm going to go and grab a vape. Whoop! I can't get used to which way the gimbal goes. I'm going to go and get a vape, and then I'm going to come back probably in 10 minutes. And then I think what I'll do is I'll put a bit of clay in, and we'll top the water up and drop that off, so you can have a look what's actually in the nexus. Now, today is Tuesday. I only done this on Saturday, so that's 3 days. Okay, so it's a day more than what I'm normally doing with regards to filter clean. So, but I have upped the food a little bit. So that in itself proves that filtration, you've got to keep an eye on it the more you feed. So I'll be back in a minute. Anyway, I'm going to go and get a vape and let this run its course for 10 minutes. Right, so we have always that, I don't know why. So I have kept this going for some time now. Been pottering about a bit in here. I've got a bit of tidying up to do after I've milked. Right, so as you can see, filter's been on for some time now. This one's you're looking at. Okay, it's been on for some time, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unleash the beast. Right, so, and then I'm going to let you have a look at the amount of shit that comes out the insides of this. So just down here we've got a waste cap. We'll put that on. Okay, that's going to start draining now. And the way that I've got this set up, let me spin you around. Actually comes out into this sump down here. You can see that, you can hear that going. All right, and it is literally at the moment emptying over there. As you can see over there and over there. Right, that's that done. That's how quick that is. That's that now done. But what mine does, it keeps backwashing all the time. So let's have a look in here. Right, actually, looking in there, get around this side, I'll have to step up. I'm going to build the floor up in here, I think. That's actually not too bad as it goes, but you'll see there, it's a little bit of shit. I'll try and get it in the right place, a bit of shit there. Right, and then a little bit round on the edges. Right, but overall, it's not something that I'm overly worried about. So what I'm going to do is turn the drain off now, and then we'll open that up again. We'll push that back in. Right, and you'll see the vortex that happens as it's going up, because of the way that the Nexus is actually designed. You'll see as that comes up a little bit more, you'll see the flow rate that they get. Now you'll see the dump there. And look at that spin. Right, that's obviously going to keep going all the way until it gets to the level of the pond because we're gravity fed. So it's not going to fill all the way up to the line that it was, where you can see the tide mark here. Okay, it will be considerably lower than that. So keep that going until it looks like it's stopped. See, it's just taking some of the stuff. That's why I do it twice. Okay. Perfect. All right, so now all I'm going to do is isolate that drain off. Right, so I just refilled. I don't know if the video saved or not, so I'll check back. But got that up now where I need it. Okay, so all I'm going to do, isolate that valve off again. Right, so that's the feed in. Normally you get something there to stop things out. I'm not bothered about that because all I'll do at the end is I'll keep the drain open and I'll flush it through again. All right, so what we are going to do now is have a quick look here. You see now the skimmer is just under or just over where the lip is, so you can see how much actually it pulls through. Definitely doing an half decent job that. What a view this is. I do love this view. So what my plans are is to build the floor up that I'm standing on. Just while that's going through another quick clean. Oh, for God's sake. While that's going through another quick clean, I can already tell the water's looking a lot better than it was, and it did need a clean, because the way that you can tell with that is that on the inner chamber where the easy is, i.e. this bit where all the K media is, what happens is that pushes up. Right, it's why it's important to have a lid over the top, because it will stop it from overflowing. You don't want that, because those people that have spilt K1, you will know it's like when you drop a bag of sugar, it goes everywhere, and it takes forever to clean up. So I'm about to release this lot now anyway. I don't know if we can see it from here. Oh, we can see it from there. So literally that goes straight to waste. Okay, so this time what we'll do, I'm going to put you down, and then what we'll do is we'll have a look, see if you can have a look as it goes. So looking there, there's still a little bit of crap around the outside. Right, but again, I'm not overly fussed about that. The majority of that crap has gone. It doesn't have to be spotless clean. Just getting to the bottom. I can hear my surge pump kicking in. And there we go. If you have a look down the bottom, guys, literally running really clear. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do, I don't think I can, not there anyway. Why do I? Right, so as you can see, guys, what I've done here, all right, I've let just for a few minutes, I've let the bottom or left the drain open, and then just give that a good flush through, just to take anything that was collected at the bottom down through into waste. I've switched the air back from the centre easy to the outer ring. Okay, now we're at a point here. What you've got and must remember to do, let's just bring you up. What you must remember to do is remove that, because that's the bit that prevents the water from going, actually back to pond. So I know that's just work, because you will hear that my skimmer line is starting to chug. As you can see, chugging away. That's because just not enough water. Look how much water I've actually lost, quite a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my skimmer line down. I'm going to turn that right down to just 30. Right, that will then stop it pulling too hard, and there should be enough water just to keep something turning. Then on here, I think I've already done it, but I'm turning the vary pump all the way up to 10,000 litres an hour. And I think what I might do is isolate this filter off. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep it all as it is. Everything's fairly noisy in here. Everything's fairly noisy next door. Right, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my declaw. Right, and I push this back into the actual pond through the filter. And then in an hour or so, this pond should be at the level that it's supposed to be at. So I'm going to go and do that now, and that concludes. Right, let's just show you. Just going to turn, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my water on. Whoa, the sun's up. I'm going to turn the water on to get that pond filled, and then I'm going to give. I'm going to put a dose of clay in. I'll show you how to do that. For those people that haven't tuned in before, it's important that you know. Now I do know my measurements already. Okay, so I'm not going to weigh it out. I know by how many scoops because of the amount of times I've done it. I don't know what she's found, but she's a shitbag. It's probably a feather from the chickens. Yep, I was right. What you got? Feathers. Oh, mind that bit of poo. You had a poo. Let's have a look, Frank. What a good girl. What you got? A chicken feather. Lovely. Right, update. So yesterday, I don't know why my gimbal does this. It's supposed to be AI tracking. Right, let's stop it. Yesterday, when I come out, all my fish had their asses planted to the ground. You've seen I've done some scrapes. I've done a good filter clean, topped the water up now. Parameters, with the exception of chlorine, was tested. Everything was fine. The scrapes were clean, and it's like, what is it that actually? Is this on? Let me just check. What is it that actually am I up against here? Because, like everything in the koi world, there's a lot of unknowns. Right, so today, this is what I come up with, or what I found. So today I've come out, and that's what I've got. As you can see, all the fish are up. Windows due another clean. However, I think you'll agree that that don't look too shabby, to be perfectly honest. So what is it? What is it we're actually dealing with? Well, this is what I've come up with. Stormy weather yesterday. Not stormy as in thunderbolts or lightning, very, very blah de blah, but real low pressure over where I live. So real low pressure where I live. So the humidity outside, not humidity, the pressure outside, with the clouds being full of hail, we had some major downpours. And the weather forecast did say it was going to be. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Instead of holding it, I'm going to put it up here. Because this gimbal does me that, so, if I'm honest. So yeah, instead of there being a problem, what would have happened is that the pressure has caused all the fish to hit the bottom. Although I've never seen them hit the bottom and clamped up. So the question is, looking at my fish today, and just to show you what I'm dealing with. Now, those people may have seen, excuse the dog crap. So, but looking at the fish today, you'll see here that I have increased the air into the pond, just because of what I was seeing yesterday. But from the pressures, stormy weathers, etc., there's very good chance that that atmospheric condition that we were seeing played into the pond. You know, so if you get an extremely low pressure, it does play havoc in the pond, and the fish have all sat on the bottom not enjoying what's happened. Now, the other thing is that I haven't been out with the pond very much during the middle of the day. What's up with you, Freya? What are you pacing for? So there would have been a pH swing happening yesterday to the point where, although when I measured it measured in at 7, which is what I normally have, nothing was different. So no parasite, water parameters were good, filter clean was conducted. And the only other thing that I thought might have been the case is that my water source had changed. So because like 3 days prior, I give it a bloody good clean out. You know, I thought, hang on a minute, if we've had a good top up, is it? What's the matter? They're beautiful. Oh yeah. Yeah, if I'd put water in. Now, the only thing I didn't test yesterday was chlorine, but I didn't think that was the issue, because I wouldn't normally see the fish hitting the bottom off of a chlorine infection or high chlorine parameters in the water. So, however, I was prepared to do that today. But it did come to my mind that because I don't spend a lot of time out in the garden during the day because I'm at work, that it may be normal behaviour, number one, where they're just chilling, or something else might be in there. Now, pH swings happen hugely across the whole of the day. Now, something that I've discussed with other people in the past, when you measure your pH, measure it in the morning, midday and in the evening, and just have a look at the pH swing. And on a day like yesterday, it definitely would have played a part. So, looking at how the fish are, I think you'll agree that they're back to being normal. So, like anything in this hobby, some things remain a mystery. But educated guess is that the atmospheric pressures were to play a major role in what I was seeing, because I'm not seeing any of it today. So, anyway, that concludes this episode. I'm about to go down the shop now and get some more wood. I'm going to be finishing off the filter house and doing a couple of other little bits and bobs. So anyway, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Remember to please hit that like button, and remember, Frey Bob, remember, as everyone says, keep smiling. Nah, I'll see you on the next one.